Tyrannosaurus rex is the iconic dinosaur. It's the king dinosaur.
Everyone loves a dinosaur. Yeah.
It's always been an anomaly that the Smithsonian didn't have a Tyrannosaurus rex.
I said, I think I found a mega find, a mega find.
It's probably one of the most interesting mounts we've ever done.
I don't think a human had ever seen those bones before.
Over all these years, still one of the very best T-Rex skeletons ever found.
Our family was camped at Fort Peck, which is a dam and a reservoir in eastern Montana. It was Labor Day weekend of 1988. What we found was about this much sticking out of the bank, and we dug around a little bit. We were just looking for pieces of fossils. We never dreamed we'd find the entire thing. The bones stayed in our house, in our basement, till we could bring them to Bozeman. That would have been Thanksgiving of 1988. Pat Leegee, I'm sure they have a lot of people that bring cow bones and buffalo bones, and so he was kind of ho-hum. It was dark out, I believe, and I remember great big snowflakes falling, and he came out to our station wagon, took one look, and his eyes got huge.
We were pretty excited. We stood out there a long time, all afternoon and the next day, piecing it together. It was, like I said, it was fragmented.
I mean, there was only one thing it could be. It was the arm of a T-Rex.
The ulna bone had never been found before on a T-Rex, so they were very excited. Wanted to know if we could find the spot and show them the spot.
If we find 3 or more bones at a site, the likelihood of it being a skeleton is extremely high.
We've done a lot of research on this specimen. We have determined that it was 18 years old when it died. It unfortunately died violently. We know that it was probably killed by some other animal.
This was actually on display at our museum, the Museum of the Rockies, in the same pose that we found it in. And when the discussions came up about transferring it to Washington for their new hall, the Smithsonian's hall, we decided to take it off display, and the best way to stabilize it and keep it stable is to pack it in crates like this. Ooh, okay. These are heavy objects, and they're very fragile. Nice and easy.
This T-Rex is actually owned by the people of the U.S., so it really is the nation's T-Rex.
I think something like 7 million people from around the world will be able to view this dinosaur in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian. So, I mean, you can't help but be proud about that, but I'm getting choked up.
Why?
I don't know. It's a big day.
What could be more fabulous than welcoming a Tyrannosaurus rex to Washington, D.C.? We're unveiling what is called MOR 555, also known as the Wankel Rex, also known as the nation's T-Rex. The Rex will be part of our renovation of our fossil halls, our dinosaur halls, which opened to the public in 1911, over 100 years ago. We will dismantle the dinosaurs and other skeletons in the wing. We will begin conserving them. We will then take that room back to its bare original architecture. That hall will open in 2019.
It's a huge number of people here. A decade at 5 million people, it's 50, 60 million people. We'll see this exhibit. That's 15% of the nation's population will be in this room. Arguably, this room is one of the most impactful science education spaces on the planet. Although we've disappointed a lot of people because we took dinosaurs away from kids, but we will be bringing them back with vigor. Today we loaded a Tyrannosaurus Rex into a FedEx truck and sending it up north to Canada, where we're going to be putting actual mounts on it. So these are separate bones. We're going to build the steel framework to mount this dinosaur in the National Museum.
Build dinosaurs? And you just stops them dead in their tracks. What do you mean, build dinosaurs?
We've got the bend going up nicely. We were basically raising the tail 5 inches, so we bent the structural steel, and the reason why we did that was to keep it out of the reach of the public.
We have steel workers, we have blacksmiths, we have a lot of sculptors. You know, we have artists, like a lot have an art background. We have conservators, preparators, mold makers. It's a huge feather in our cap, you know, like just to do this. And, you know, especially after a career of doing it, you know, and working with major museums throughout the world.
This is going to come down.
So what we're thinking is release the tension on the tail and make it go more like this, more in a straight line. It's incredibly complicated and requires a number of different disciplines and expertise to put together an exhibit, and we work on it for years, assembling all of these different elements, and when you walk in the hall, all of that is invisible to you as a visitor.
In this particular project, the biggest challenge probably has been the interaction of the two animals. A T-Rex standing over a Triceratops, it's basically right on top of it, and to try and get the two skulls to line up, plus all of the other elements, and make it work was challenging in the fact that it's just so much going on. The armature that holds the real fossil, which we call the fossil holder, has, some people call them antlers, fingers, whatever you want to call them, but it usually consists of a piece of half round with pieces that are tapered, and they follow the contour of the bone very closely. It's got a high percentage of real fossil, but where you see the white areas, those are generally cast materials that have been supplemented in. The ribs, there's white, and then of course all the cracks.
This skull will be a cast. The skull is the one part that's probably of greatest scientific interest. And so we want to make that accessible to scientific study. And if we position it like this, it's really going to make it impossible for a scientist to get at it. Also, the precariousness of the way this mount is, with the skull really hanging off the neck as it is in a live animal, is not well suited to mounting a real bone. I think, you know, even if you're someone who has the privilege to be a paleontologist working at a museum and working on dinosaurs, it is really once in your entire career that you might get to do something like this. You could have it lose a tooth and have the tooth be busted off.
Embedded in the front.
Yeah, so if like this one's missing, you can have it in here.
Can we do it like this? A little bit here?
Something that we all hope is going to be around for 50 or another 100 years, and so it's going to outlast all of us.
it's just too heavy to really manhandle. We're gonna grab here and here. Any movement on the top, put stress right here, eh?
Give her a wiggle. Home.
You brought it once, and now you can have it back.
All right. I think I had a bright orange sweatshirt, but I've got a kind of an orange one. And we'll wrap the T-Rex back up. Take them back out to the dry creek country where we discovered them in 1988. They're going back home. This is a replica. This is not the original. There it is.